Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's Steezy, aka Sabanas, aka Straight Up Bananas. I know, rebranding is a bitch, but hey, we're not here to talk about that. That's another video, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to tell you what you need to know before the next Modern Warfare beta. And that's strange coming from me because I haven't played it yet, but I've watched a ton of people who have, and I feel like I've got a pretty good grasp on what you need to do, what you need to know, and what kind of classes you need to set up. So, let's go ahead and get into that. I lied. Let me tell you about the gameplay in the background. This is probably the best sniping gameplay I've got on Black Ops 4, and it was literally just random. It was just super random. I was like, hey, I need a gameplay video for this next video, and I got a cool camo for my sniper, so I said, why not? Anyways, enjoy that while I talk about what you need to know. So, first things first. You need to go into this game playing a little bit slower and keep your gun up. And what I mean by that is turn corners like this, maybe even walk like this. I don't know what you need to do, but your gun needs to be up for two reasons. One, it is the time to kill is insane. You need to be as prepared as you can for your gunfight. Not to mention, there's a lot of campers. We all knew that, but that's okay. The next thing, it kind of goes hand in hand with that. If you're ADSing and you're shooting at somebody, and you do not want to take off that, but you know you need to reload, you can do that. You can still ADS and reload at the same time. It's really weird looking, but it's something that you can do. A great way to rank up quicker in the beta, and probably when the game first comes out, is carry a launcher in your backpack, in your back pocket. I don't know, either one. And shoot down the UAVs, because there's going to be a shitload of them. Absolutely a shitload of them. Because one, the score streaks are locked, I think. Two, everybody's going to be running it anyways, because there's no mini-map, or there's a limited mini-map, what have you. And shooting stuff down is just an easy way to hit points. When you get to create a class, and you get to unlock guns, don't get upset and think each gun sucks right out the gate, because each gun sucks right out the gate. But with that being said, once you start adding attachments to them, it's like night and day, at least from what I've seen. Again, I haven't played this, but from what I've seen. Now, that segues perfectly into the loadouts I'm going to suggest. Again, I've watched a lot of people play, a lot of pro players play, and this is kind of the general consensus. 3 SMGs and 3 ARs. It's primarily AR meta right now, again because everybody's playing slower, but at the same time you can definitely kick some ass with some SMGs. So the first SMG is the AUG. It looks cool as shit. The only thing about the AUG is I believe the clip size is like 25, or magazine size, whatever, is 25, and that's terrible. Again, you have to bear with the gun. Once you get extended mags, people fry with this thing. The MP5 is next. I think that this has a little bit of recoil, but once you get used to the recoil, the damage on this thing is nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Now the opposite is true for the next gun, the MP7. This thing doesn't have as much damage, but it's a laser. Like, you can literally, I saw people cross-mapping with Ironside MP7, and it was just insane. But I guess it just depends on your playstyle there. The 3 ARs that they have, that I want to talk about is the M4A1, the M13, and the AK-47. All 3 of them are going to kind of operate about the same. Their stats are going to differ a little bit in their levels. I think the M4A1 probably has the most balance to it. I don't know why I'm doing this a lot. Has the most balance to it. Once you get the M13, probably switch to that, and then the AK-47 is just, as it always is, high recoil but super high damage, and that segues into the next part, the attachments you want to throw on some of these guns. I've seen a ton of loadouts, because there's a ton of ways you can gunsmith your weapons to however you want, but these are like the reoccurring attachments that I've seen. And the first one was the heavy duty barrel, and this was specifically on the AK-47. essentially what it does is it gives you better range. You do more damage further, if that makes sense. So 3 bullets used to be up to here. With heavy duty barrel, it's up to here, you know what I mean? I saw that on like AK-47 a ton. The next is a lightweight stock. This was on almost everybody's class for every gun. Essentially what it is, let's see, it was called Stalker or, oh shoot, I don't know, but you can like move better while you're ADSing, so that's definitely a plus because, you know, you're going to be camping, and I said at the beginning of the video you need to be ADS as much as possible. The next is the pistol grip. This thing, I'm not exactly sure how it works, per se, but it allows you to raise your gun up quicker. And the last thing is the 10mm ammo. This is just an overall increase in damage, and I think that it only applies to a few guns, but I know that the guns that do have it, you need to put it on, and it's insane. It turns normal guns into melt machines, essentially, so... the last couple things I wanted to talk about were the perks. There's the classic 3-tier, like in previous CODs. Yeah, I was saying that right. So in the first category, you want to use, well, you don't want to use, but what I was seeing a lot of was a new perk called Double Time, and this is where you're allowed to, okay, normal sprint. This allows you to put your gun away and sprint, so you're sprinting quicker. And if you haven't noticed, some of the maps are a lot bigger, so being able to put that down and run quicker to get back in the action is definitely a plus. Now, with that being said, when you're running like this, you clearly have to kind of reach for your weapon and pull it back out, so you're, I can't remember what they call that, but that speed is slowed down a lot, so make sure that you're aware of that. I would say probably double time halfway there, maybe 3/4 to where you want to go, and then switch back to your normal. Up until about where you want to be, then you ADS the whole way, the rest of the way. It's all tied together. Okay, the second perk, the second tier of perks, you want to be using Ghost. This is an absolute, I mean, it is common sense. I don't really need to say much about it. UAVs, you need to be undetectable as much as possible because there's going to be UAV spam. Again, with the mini-map not being what we're used to, at least as of right now. You just need to stay hidden as much as possible. So, use Ghost, common sense. The last perk, Slots. I don't know the colors. I think the last one is yellow. I think this first one was green and the middle one's blue. It's irrelevant. Anyways, the third slot is a combination of a couple. I saw some people running one called... Oh shoot, what was it called? I don't remember, but it was an extra lethal grenade. I can understand that. The one I'm going to choose to use, and what I saw probably most of the people using, was one called Battle Hardened, and this is essentially Tac Mask. I think people are going to stun check a bunch, and the stun and flash in this game is insane. It usually is at the beginning of a game anyways, but this one it looks insane. Like, you're going to get, if you get hit with one and you don't have Battle Hardened, it's going to turn your entire screen white. Pure white, and it lasts forever. And I can't recall the noise that it had with it, but I'm sure it's stupid. I think, honestly, that's about as much as I can think to give you. These are, again, take these tips if you want to. These are the things that I'm thinking of going into this. I'm trying to get as much as I possibly can out of it, so... Oh, another thing. It is a beta, so calm down. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be awesome. It's one of the two. There's no in-between usually. You either have a great time or an awful time. And it's not the full release. So if you feel like you're doing awful, I don't know. Just try to keep in mind that it's just a beta. But that's all I've got, so don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. Until next time, YouTube.